comic books and superheroes. Are you a fan? Hollywood is, and so is the gaming industry, which is doubling down on games based on them. So how about we take a look at the upcoming and rumored comic book games in the works? If you're a fan, you'll be happy because there are quite a few. Firstly, why bother with games based on comic books, you may ask? Well, why not? We've all imagined having superpowers, and video games are the closest we'll ever get to experiencing them. Comic books have some incredible stories that remain untapped, that the masses have yet to experience. Gaming and comic book superheroes work so well together. Just take a look at the variety of games we've only just recently enjoyed. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a brilliant action-adventure title. People were skeptical about the main characters not looking or sounding like their Hollywood counterparts, but all those concerns went out the window once they played the game. Marvel's Snap is a card battling game on mobiles. The Spider-Man games on PlayStation are open-world games. Marvel's Midnight Suns is a tactical game, and all these titles that I've mentioned have been received positively by critics and fans. So, what are the confirmed superhero or comic book games that we can look forward to? Let's start off with The Wolf Among Us 2, that has cultivated a following after the first graphic mystery adventure game received critical acclaim in 2013. Unfortunately, Telltale Games have had a rocky journey, having shut down in 2018, but then revived under new management the following year. Despite this, the developers are very passionate about this game, and so are the fans, and this one is slated for release this year. Spider-Man 2 is arguably the biggest superhero game releasing this year, and it's exclusive to the PlayStation 5. This is going to be a huge blockbuster. The appearance of Venom will blow the hype out of the water closer to release. Gamers have been waiting patiently for Rocksteady's next big game, and now it's almost here. The studio behind the critically acclaimed Arkham series is trying something different this time, but still based on the DC comic book realm. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an action-adventure game that also lets players play cooperatively as one of the four maniacal members of the team. The game is still set in the Arkham universe, taking place after the events of Batman Arkham Knight. Brainiac has invaded Earth and has brainwashed none other than the Justice League to fight for him. The game certainly looks very promising and is due to release on the 26th of May of this year. Hellboy: Web of the Word was a pleasant surprise for many when it was first revealed. A roguelite action-adventure game, this is telling an original story developed by Upstream Arcade and created in partnership with Dark Horse Comics and creator Mike Mignola. It also incorporates the original art style of the Hellboy comics and is slated for release on all platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. A Wonder Woman game is in development, and it's coming from Monolith Productions, the studio known for the Lord of the Rings games, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. This is supposed to be a single-player open-world action game, and interestingly, we'll also see the return of the Nemesis system, a villain generator that really adds depth to enemy encounters by evolving enemies depending on your actions. This one should be really good. Wolverine is a PlayStation exclusive title being developed by Insomniac Games. This title is also targeting a mature rating, and that is music to the ears of fans. Those metal claws were designed to do brutal damage, so hopefully the game doesn't hold back on the violence. Black Panther and Captain America are teaming up in a new game which is supposed to be set during World War II, as the tag team take on the evil organization Hydra. The game is developed by new studio Skydance, New Media, and Marvel Games, and is being led by none other than former Naughty Dog creative director Amy Hennig. The game is also most likely inspired by the comic book series called Black Panther, Captain America, Flags of Our Fathers. Iron Man is too cool not to have his own game, and thankfully Marvel Games and Motive Studios are collaborating on a third-person single-player title which will see you control Tony Stark and of course let you play as Iron Man. Olivia Prohl, forgive my pronunciation, is leading the team at Motive Studio, and his past credentials include the excellent Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. The game was in pre-production in September 2022, so is in the early stages of development. EA is also working on at least 2 other Marvel titles, but details are thin on the ground at the moment. Speculation time. You'd be silly to think that these are the only comic book titles in the works, and there are rumors of a fair few being worked in the background. There are rumblings of PlayStation in particular seeking to double down on comic book or superhero games, so don't be shocked if it secures other superhero licenses in the near future. A Deadpool game has supposedly been in development for a few years now and is targeting an R rating, which means a lot of over-the-top violence and mature content like we've seen in the brilliant Deadpool movies. And of course the comics, come on. The game is rumored to be developed by High Moon Studios, the same studio that actually worked on the last Deadpool game, which released in 2013 on the PlayStation 3 and 360. High Moon Studios is now owned by Activision Blizzard, and unless there are pre-existing contractual obligations, if Microsoft's acquisition of ABK goes through, this could potentially be an Xbox exclusive. On 31st of January, James Gunn announced the full slate of movies and TV projects coming soon under the DC banner. Unlike the Marvel games, DC Studios have confirmed that the games will be connected to the plans for the movies. Will these end up being your typical movie tie-in games where the quality isn't always notable? Or can we expect something like we've got from the likes of Rocksteady and Insomniac? Time will tell. As for Marvel, well, with Spider-Man, Wolverine and Iron Man to name a few titles, do expect to see even more great games from the Marvel universe. In the next video, I'll be taking a look at all the comic book or superheroes that deserve a game and discuss some concepts for them. It's a bit more ambitious with some cool touches, so hopefully you will enjoy the video, especially if you love comics. But if you enjoyed this one, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.